It's a mouth to yoke. It's a mouth to yoke. We're gonna talk about stuff and get down to work. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm the mouth to York, the mouth to York. No fucks given at the mouth to York. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, we're going. For
Okay.
sure. We are live, lady. Well, not live, but we are going.
We're going.
Either way it goes. I have here with me Jim Mossman, ladies and gentlemen. And he's the welding instructor at OC. You wrote a book in welding, correct?
I did a textbook about a couple of years ago.
Okay. Like with code and, or what did it pertain?
Well, it was an introduction to gas metal arc welding or MIG welding.
Okay. Yeah.
And so what it really was there was a guy that had passed away, and he had written a book, and they contacted me and said, we need to update it. So I took 3 years and updated it. And
Dang.
so I basically rewrote the whole thing, but he still has a little credit,
Right.
you know, because he started it.
That's cool. Did you know him?
No.
No, you didn't.
No.
know him. Okay.
The book company kind of contacted a couple of people and said, hey, write a chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And then they contacted me back and said, hey, we'd like you to do this. So
Okay. Can you pull your mic up a little
little bit, a little
Just
far away. How's that better?
That's good.
Okay.
There we go. Well, that's neat. 3 years it took you to write the book.
Yeah, I took a month off here and there,
Yeah.
because I got bored. And
Right.
summer happened and things happened, and so once I got going,
Okay.
and they kept pushing. So hey, where's this chapter? But we got it done, and so that was a pretty cool thing.
Yeah.
And then they contacted me last year about this time, and they wanted me to write 3 chapters for another book on maintenance, work, mechatronics, that sort of stuff. So I did 3 chapters about complete welding in the maintenance field for that one.
Wow.
But
You
I haven't seen that one yet.
have to know your stuff in order.
Either that or I fake it real good.
I mean, welding is ultra serious.
It is.
in concerns of like the infrastructure of humanity at this point.
Yeah,
Right.
just about everything is, if it's metal, it's welded.
Yeah, and you guys have a certain code to go by and certain specifications, and if it is off, if it don't pass the test, it's a done deal.
Well, when people ask me, well, is this good? And I say, no, is 70% good? Is that passing? But,
Yeah.
would you drive over a bridge that's 70% good?
No.
So
I don't like those odds.
I always kind of, what about that bridge that collapsed here a couple of weeks ago, that pedestrian bridge?
Gosh.
Yeah. Was that 70% good?
Probably around there.
Maybe that 30%, yeah, we don't care.
Yeah. Just that's why you don't cut corners.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, aside from that, you are taking photography right now.
Right. It's kind of like I've always done a lot of photography.
Okay.
And the funny thing is I am doing it after I did all the pictures for the textbook. So
You even did the pictures.
Yeah, I
in the
did all,
textbook.
because the old textbook was all black and white pictures.
Uh-huh.
So I did all color, everything. I went around, shot, the pictures, and lucky enough, I had some friends that said, "Okay, here's a camera," and I used my cell phone and took some pictures. And then, now I go, "Wow, I wish I knew then what I know now."
Yeah.
But it's okay. It came out good, and when I do it again, I'll do new pictures, and hopefully they'll be a lot better.
So why do you like photography?
I've always been on the edge of the artistic community,
Yeah.
but I've never really thought myself as an artist. except for in metal. You
have to be.
And metal I can do things with, but I'm still not. I don't have that artist thought like, oh, hey, let's just create this out of nothing. But I found photography is something that I can do that. You know, and it's a snapshot and a moment in time that you get to keep and kind of go back over and look at it. And I don't think we do that enough.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I'm getting into that.
That's good. Hey, well, we don't do it enough with quality. Like we take a lot of pictures now with our phones.
Oh gosh, there's millions of pictures taken every day with cell phones.
Yeah, but
But those are snapshots.
Yeah.
Then photography is a whole different game.
Yeah, so like it's just anything. People might think in welding you're just touching a couple pieces of metal together and you're hot gluing essentially.
Right. Yeah.
But photography, my girl, she's in class with you and she tells me all this stuff, which I knew a little bit. Like, because I've always held a camera. I've always made videos. I've had to take pictures and stuff like that. And when they were really trying to explain it to me, I'm like, I don't care, okay? Like, I don't want to know all this. Like, I just want to take this picture. Because, I was pretty impatient then about aperture and bringing in light and everything like that. But, yeah, like, being a craftsman is just such a good feeling. Overall.
It comes down to, for me, that attention to detail. No matter what you're doing, if you pay attention to the little details, then the big stuff will fall together. So no matter whether you're a plumber or a welder or a photographer, whatever you want to do, if you pay attention to the little things, big things take care of themselves.
I agree 100%. Yeah, I laid granite for like 8 years. I still kind of do it on the side. And doing granite, first of all, it's so heavy. And you don't want to mess up because you don't want to take that thing back out, all right? Like, so that's one. But, like, you break a piece of, or you miscut a piece of tile, $2 down the drain, I got another one right here. No big deal. You miscut a piece of granite, it's $2,000 down the drain because they come in slabs. And, oh, man, so you really had to be mean when you taught people, because somebody was really mean to me when I was getting taught how to do the granite, but it was in a good way. Like, hey, you keep your head out of your ass, and maybe we won't be in this predicament. Pay attention.
Right. I mean, that's really all it is. Yeah.
And now with what I do now in automation, it's the same thing. It's the same deal with electronics. You don't want to just, I forgot to put this wire here.
Yeah, it's going to screw up a couple $1 million piece of equipment.
Yeah, a lot of stress, but that's cool. How did you get into welding?
Long story, but we'll try to keep it real short.
No, we got plenty of time.
So, I took welding in high school in 10th grade.
Okay.
I took an ag mechanics class, and we were just kind of told, hey, here's some weld machines, go do something. And I don't even think our instructor knew how to weld. So that was kind of initial, and it was, guerrilla welds. The more you put on, the stronger it might be, but that's untrue. So then I did a 4-year tour in the Army and got out, and I was living in upstate New York at the time. I had a friend in El Paso, and he said he was going to welding school. Hey, that sounds cool. I was, 22 years old, a little bit crazy. So jumped on a Greyhound bus with $200 to my name, a duffel bag of clothes, and the girl next door, and we moved to El Paso. I went to welding school for 9 months, and then the boom was still going on here in Odessa.
Okay.
And drove my $200 beat-up car from El Paso to here. Had no shocks. It was a lot of fun. And, and I started and got a good job here for Caterpillar, welding, and basically the rest of it, that's 30-some years ago, 40 years ago almost.
Cool.
And, so I really came to Texas with nothing, learned how to weld, and it's, given me a real good career in life.
Dang. That's a good story. This was a good idea. That's the short story.
That's the short
version. Okay. Well,
But
You were in the army. Didn't you study something in college? Sociology?
right, so I've got a degree in counseling, got a degree in sociology,
Okay.
degree in welding, and I was working on a master's degree, and I said, well, the heck with that.
Yeah.
I don't need it, and so I quit.
Okay. In welding?
No, it was in public administration.
You can't get a master's in welding, right?
No,
You
no.
just good.
Yeah.
Pass. Okay. Well, and you didn't. So your passion obviously lied with welding, not
Yeah,
so much
you
on
know.
the counseling.
But see, teaching, I use the sociology some days more than I do the welding skills,
I bet.
because I'm dealing with, people from all walks of life,
Yep.
all age groups. I've got them now from 9th grade to, and my oldest student I think he was 78.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, social economic statuses, and I look at everybody the same. I really don't care where they're coming from, what color they are. Once they put the welding hood on, they're all the same to me.
Yeah, you're gonna burn the same.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, we all burn, and some people learn a little faster and different than others, and that's
Right.
okay too. But I think that sociology background, my psychology background, really helps me as far as teaching people and talking to them.
I've always been fascinated about, well, at least the mechanics of the human mind, but also like how it shapes the human too. You know what I mean? And psychology and studies of those areas cover that. And I thought it'd be cool to go into school for that, but
There's no money in it.
yeah, there's no money in it.
unless you go all the way and get like a master's or a doctorate degree.
Right.
You're gonna
My psychology says I want to eat, so I'm gonna feed myself.
find something, make some money. That's kind of how I felt too. You
Right.
know?
But it's good to know, like you said, you use it in teaching, and obviously, especially at a community college, where it's a little bit more available to more people.
I take anybody that walks in the door.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. I didn't realize, the community colleges have bad raps.
Yeah.
But my instructor was like, "This is a college for the community," and like it just hit right there, and I was like, "Wow!" And it's literally, if you pay more attention to your local politics and your local everything, I don't know, that's happening around you, you might have a better perception, better tools to move through life in a better way, like eating locally or something like that. All that stuff's good because it's for you. Like it's your whole I don't even know where I was going with that thought, but
I don't know either. But you're on the right track as far as the community college. One thing, big difference. There's the university, and we got a university here in town too.
Yeah.
But university professors, to keep their job, they have to be publishing. They have to be doing research. To keep my job, I have to teach.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really it, and put out good product. And my product is a trained student.
Yeah.
So, their product is, okay, we're going to publish this document. And, I published because I wanted to, not because I had to.
Yeah.
That makes a difference.
Yeah, it really does. When somebody wants to do something, I think the quality is better.
Right.
At least. If you're forced into it, then...
If you go to some universities, you might never see a professor. You're going to see a teaching assistant that's going to teach your whole course, and the professor's, behind the scenes kind of.
Yeah.
And for me, you come into one of our classes at community college, you're going to talk to the person that's teaching you. You've seen that too.
Yeah.
So it's that more hands-on, that you're going to get at a community college.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it also just makes better communities.
Yeah, I mean, they support us, we support them. University is paid for by grants and high, tuition rates.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And they keep going higher, ironically enough.
Yeah.
So is the debt. Yeah, and OT was very great in just they basically almost paid all my way. Like they were like, look, Chevron does this does this application does this, write a sentence. And I was like, okay. And like half my semester was paid for. Just no problem. They were very, very nice in doing that. Yeah, Julia was saying that you're a pretty interesting guy to talk to. You definitely have some stories. How was the Army?
I learned how to kill people and blow shit up. So
you've killed a man.
I don't want to talk about that.
You don't.
But,
okay. Very, very few do.
But I got out after 4 years, and I was an infantry soldier, and there wasn't a lot of work for that.
Right.
And so I just I
was looking for. What war was it?
Well, really, I was in the 70s, in between really any war. There was a lot of things going on that were behind the scenes. There was Iraq hostage crisis, Cold War was going on with Russia that we weren't supposed to talk about or know about, and there was several times that we were put on planes and told to go places, but we didn't know why.
Holy shit.
I spent a couple years up in Alaska. One of the coolest missions that I can talk about is they sent us to this little town called Kotzebue, which is right on the coast, and it's 100 miles from, at the time it was USSR, now it's Russia. And we were there for 2 weeks to stop something that we didn't know what we were there to stop.
And did y'all stop it?
I guess so.
Cool.
I guess so.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, but we were locked and loaded and ready for whatever was supposed to happen that we didn't know was going to happen, kind of thing.
Damn.
So I was lucky. I didn't have to go to Iraq. I didn't have to go, places that a lot of people have had to go since then.
Yeah. It's I can't even imagine how it is now.
No.
Becoming bionic. I know a buddy. I say buddy. He's a guy. He's an ex-Delta Force trainer, and he goes around all in America doing carbine, all types of courses, and that's the certificate right there. But he broke his ankle out of the skin jumping out of a helicopter,
and
it got fixed in like a month. I mean, a compound fracture he was right back on it in a month, and it was just some stuff he didn't want to talk about.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, all right, cool. As long as you're good, man. Yeah, I'm good. All right, fine. And I guess that's good. What's going on with our military? I have no idea what's going on, but that's probably the best.
Right. They don't want us to know.
No, I don't really care. Your photography. How long do you have left till you're graduated?
I don't really know if I'm worried about graduating. I'm more interested in just learning new stuff. I probably got maybe another year or so before I can retire. Well, I could retire this year, actually, but I'll probably stick around another year. So I'm just taking courses until then, and that might be a new career, is have my own photography business, travel around the world. Oh.
Sorry, that was a technical foul on the electronic over there.
Okay.
That's good. You just solely want to learn. You want to do photography for what exact reason for your welding or? Well,
I do a lot of that right now. I didn't talk about this, but I do a monthly column for a national magazine, and
really,
yeah, I just wrote one today. So
what's it called?
The magazine is called The Welder.
The Welder.
And so I just started in January, and it's a bi-monthly magazine, so I got the back page column of the magazine, so I've been doing that for a couple months now, and that's kind of a pretty cool gig.
Yeah.
Somebody sends me a question, and I just write about it, answer it, and I get paid for that.
Really? Well,
so I said,
somebody write me. I'll answer anything, anything you need.
So this morning, my wife was out doing work around the house, and she goes, "Well, I got this done. I said, "Yeah, but I just earned a few $100,
Yeah.
So sat down for an hour and wrote a column.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cool thing. And I hate writing. See, that's the weird thing. I really hate writing.
Really?
It's got to drag it out of me.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I'm a big procrastinator on that.
Oh yeah. It's the columns due the 2nd or 3rd. So what's today? The 1st.
The 1st.
Yeah.
April Fools.
So it'll be ready tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
I wait till the last minute.
Same thing.
I had two months to do it.
Well, I have Mr. Robles' podcast. It's almost done. I'm like at the, I try to do it once a week, and I'm like at the last bit of it, and it's Sunday. So like I'm at the tail end of this.
You might get it done at midnight.
Yeah, and publish it, but it takes forever to publish these things. But it's okay. Like as long as they're going out and everything's good, like the people enjoy it no matter what happens.
So what's getting published? Video, audio, both?
Both.
Okay.
So like
you got your own channel?
Yeah, I have my own website.
Okay.
And that's where it's sourced off of. And it goes to iTunes for audio, so you can just download it and it's free. And then it goes up on YouTube with audio and video. You can subscribe to either or. And I've always kind of been into stuff like this.
Okay.
I've made skate videos. I've done stupid skits. I've done it all. And podcasts seem to be the thing that's going on. And I listen to podcasts all the time.
Okay.
Because I drive a lot. And I start meeting people that listen to podcasts, and it's kind of weird how much there are of us, and I learn a lot from it. So instead of listening to music now, I'm like, you can put a podcast on with a doctor, you can put a podcast on with somebody in financing, and I guess they could be full of shit or they couldn't, you know.
Yeah, you got to figure that out.
Yeah,
as
you got to
go.
figure that out. But typically it's pretty good stuff, and if they have a well-known platform, then you can subscribe and do that stuff. So,
okay.
Yeah, and I want to have something that has just kind of average but above average people. You know what I mean? Like we're normal. You hold a job, I hold a job,
right.
But we can hold. We all have our own perceptions. And I'm very interested in your perception. I'm very interested in the person that's sitting next to me on the bus's perception, and we got the internet, so why not? Like it seems to be a good time. Like,
okay.
I tell you, people will like this.
All right.
You're like, oh my gosh, he's killed people. He doesn't want to talk about it.
No, they'll get over that.
Like they're gonna be, cool. This is a great podcast. No, and
Hope
like
not.
I have some oil field guys that listen to it. So like a couple of them are welders, so they might contact you through this podcast for some questions or something like that. This guy told me that you don't want to be a welder. The average lifespan of a welder is 45 years old.
Well,
what do you say about that?
I think that's a bunch of crap. But, I know some people that look real old because, I don't think it's the welding. I think it's the lifestyle they want to live is part of it. The drinking and then doing all the other stuff.
Yeah.
That, there's more to it than just welding and earning money and blowing it. So, but you can tell those guys. And, I do weld inspection on the side. I do a whole bunch of side work. It all kind of comes all together. But, I can go out and I'm inspecting a couple welders, and you got the guy that comes up with a shiny brand new truck and everything. And I can tell within 10 minutes he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
And then the old guy, pulls in and his stuff's all, eat up, used,
Rusted.
and in 5-10 minutes, I can say, okay, this guy knows his stuff and, get after it. And that's kind of how it is, It's kind of, I was on both sides of that. So, yeah.
Coming from you to like saying you've been welding for over
40 some years.
Dude, I can't even fathom that, because like I like I said, I did granite for 8 years.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna get it by me. Like I feel like I've done it enough, you know, to where I'm a full blown pro and I can identify those who can and can't do something. But 40 years, dude, like, I mean,
You know, and I've done.
you might be psychic at this point with your welding. You know, like.
Well, you know, I've done a little bit of everything. You know, I ran a rig for a little while. I worked in a machine shop for 15 years as like the only welder in the whole machine shop. I worked for Caterpillar for a while. You know, so I've done a little bit of everything. I've done inspection work. You know, and even while I'm teaching, I'm still welding. You know, so I keep, you know, the class will be doing their thing, and I'm practicing.
Yeah.
Because you got to stay with it. You know, you can't just forget about it. I think the students like that too, because they like to see that I'm actually doing what they're doing.
Right.
You know, so I'm always doing that and trying to keep my hand in the game. So, I don't know anything else, I guess.
You seem to know quite a bit after,
You know,
after your resume you just showed everybody.
but
You know, the good doctors stay practice and change their practices.
you know, you got to stay up to date.
Yeah.
You know, I can't be doing stuff that we were doing 30, 40 years ago.
Right.
You know, and so, you know, my latest thing on the welding side is I'm, you know, learning as I'm teaching robotics, welding. So that's kind of a new thing.
Robotics welding.
Yeah. So we're using robots and,
They're taking over.
Yeah. Well, you know, everybody thinks so, but you know, so we got to program the robot and tell it what to do, you know, and it's kind of like, you know, a computer program. If you put garbage in, it's not going to do what you want it to do. So you got to put the right stuff in. And so that's kind of a new avenue in the welding field that I've been picking up.
So is it a logic like that you go by?
Well, you have to understand the principles of welding first, and then you can tell the arm how to move and where to move and how fast, and you know, so basically you just stand back and telling something else how to weld the right way.
So I guess I know that a robot would probably make the weld better.
Right, it's more consistent.
It's more consistent.
You know, they don't take sick days or potty breaks. You know,
right.
you know,
Well, it's probably a little bit better for a pipeline. You know what I mean? Like you're just bead.
You know, they're always going to be manual welders because of, you know, construction, that sort of stuff. But, you know, most of the stuff that you find built and fabricate, you know, in factories now, it's done with a robot. You know, your automobile's put together with a robot. You know, and it's kind of, it's evolved even more. I like to use the idea about 20 some years ago, I went through the Harley Davidson factory in Pennsylvania, and they still had people welding each of the frames together. And then I went back about 15 years ago, and they started using robots. And now all of the frames for the motorcycles are done with a robot, and they have one guy that's a certified welder that if something goes wrong, he fixes it. You know, everything else is all just, you got somebody there pushing a button.
That one job sounds great.
Oh yeah, that, you know, that'd be my job if I, you know, did it.
Yeah.
But you know, so it's faster, more economical. You know, and you mentioned, you know, they're going to take over, but you got to realize that, like, my generation, the baby boom generation, we're retiring at a, you know, fast rate, and there's not enough people your age to fill that gap. So we have to find a way. So, you know, for 3 to 1, you know, to get the same amount or more production out, we got to be able to do something faster and with less people. So, you know, that's where the robots come in. It's kind of neat, but they won't take my job. They won't take your job. They're going to give you a job.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I'm in automation.
Yeah. So, I mean, that same deal.
All I have is work.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You know, so there's even more coming.
Yeah. No, I think it's cool. I like it because it's a trade.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, you know, like you said, I'm not dogging anybody with a psychology degree or anything, but I've just, also my dad, you know my dad.
Yeah.
He worked with his hands. He's like master electrician for over 40 years. and that's just how I am. And but I feel like you need to have a little bit of that in you to go through this world, because it roughens you up. It makes you smart. It made me more intuitive for sure. Because you get hurt, you bang your stuff a couple of times, you're like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to see a little bit into the future for this to not happen.
I don't like getting burned. You know?
Exactly.
So I figured out ways so I don't get burned.
Yeah.
But I still do sometimes, and it pisses me off when I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Man. Ooh. I weld a little bit, but man, I tell you what I like is stick welding.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the power you feel in your hands when you're stick welding.
Yeah.
But I was helping out I was a rig mechanic hand, so there were times where we had to cut stuff or tack stuff, and that was about it. So that's all we had to do as far as welding goes. And my welds look like not right doo-doo stuff, but it'll hold. I think.
Maybe.
Drop it on the ground, man. We'll see if it. I'm just gonna. What I did was made skate stuff, like skate rails and everything. And my boss probably wasn't that stoked when I was doing that, but we didn't have any work, and he said to keep busy.
Yeah.
I wanted to work on my welding.
There you go.
No, it's good. Something about working with your hands and creating stuff, man. Welding's an art. I don't care what anybody says. And fabricating is a lot of the job too, pre getting your...
there's a lot of, like the pipeline welders, they're just sticking pipe together, and they'll probably get on me about that because, they think they're really great.
Yeah.
But all they're doing is sticking two pieces of pipe together. But to be able to look at a print and fabricate something from the ground up and say, okay, I built this, building or house, whatever it is, or, contraption, oil field tank, whatever, that's a little bit difficult.
Yeah. What's the craziest project you've built?
Oh, man.
That you can talk about?
Oh, yeah, I can talk about most of those. Oh, man. I've done some crazy artwork stuff. It's the small stuff that's the hardest. It's, like welding two razor blades together, the real thin material, that's the hard stuff to weld, because that's where you got to have all that control.
Right, but you got to be a welder to really appreciate that, right?
Anybody can weld something like as thick as this table, you just keep dogging it in there, and maybe,
right.
But, it's the thin stuff, that's the cool stuff,
So what is the thinnest piece of metal you've
like
got?
Razor blades, point to point, put them together, and, use a little bit of MIG wire for a filler, and run about 5 amps, and just for fun, but we have to do some stuff that's really thin like that, so it's all control.
Have you ever had to make a welder?
What do you mean, like make the machine?
Yeah.
No,
I'm
not the electrical guy.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
this dude could take it apart,
but you can.
Yeah.
You could take like 3 car batteries, put them in a series, and you got some power, and you can weld with it.
Yeah.
I read that in an off-road magazine once, and I said, well, so you're out in the middle of nothing. You got your 4-wheel drive friends out there. You break down, so you're going to pull everybody's battery, hook up your welding leads, and weld it back up and drain their batteries. So how's that going to work out for you? But, it was in the, 4x4 magazine or something like that, and I said, yeah. I'm sure that's going to work all the time, but you can do it.
Yeah, but why would you?
But you have no control over the the amperage or anything. You're just going hot.
Yeah, see, that's another thing I don't know anything about.
Yeah, so you got all this amperage coming at you, and as you burn up the batteries, kind of wear them out.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
You lose the amperage coming out. So,
yeah.
But yeah, that'd be the closest I could think of making my own welder.
Right. Do you have anything that people can look at, like your art that you've done?
You mean like online, or?
Yeah, I guess.
Not too much. I mean, I've got some artwork. I had a summer when I got a little crazy. I made some stuff. It's on the OC campus.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of sculptures I put up over there. I don't really make. There's a lot of oil field stuff out there that I made.
Right?
I can go, drive around and see a heater treater and say, oh yeah, that's mine, because I know what my welds looked like, 20 years ago, and they're still being used. So
That's crazy.
that's kind of the neat thing.
Yeah, you would have to know. Have you ever heard of the figure 8 little weld? Is that bull crap?
Yeah, you can do it. I don't get too crazy with weld patterns and all that. I don't even pay attention really to what I'm welding. I'm just watching the puddle, and you control the puddle. That's all there is to it. So
Yeah.
some people do all this weird stuff. I just, I tell them don't do circles. That's like a bad word in my book.
Don't do circles.
Yeah, I hate that.
Huh.
Because you're just trapping stuff every time you go around.
Huh.
So I got a lot of people that understand we don't do circles.
Right.
That's like the biggest cuss word out there for me.
Dang.
It's welding in circles.
Note to self, don't do circles. Got that, people? Circles. Well, yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense if you're trapping.
Yeah, you go around, you trap the slag every time.
Next time I'm welding something and one of my friends want to get on to me, I'm going to be like, no. I got it now.
Yeah.
I have it on video, people. No. That's cool. Do you got any other hobbies you like hunting or?
I've got a Harley sitting in the shop that I haven't driven in a couple months, just because I got too much else going on sometimes. I got to get that thing out. This weather, that would be good.
It's really good weather right now.
Yeah.
Very good.
It was bothering me today.
Dead hot.
I was cleaning my pool and I was saying, man, I shouldn't be doing this. I should be doing something else.
You have a pool?
Yeah.
Is it an underground pool?
Yeah.
Is it concrete?
In ground, yeah.
Can I skate it?
No.
Okay.
It's got a vinyl liner. You could have come out probably 2 years ago when we ripped the liner out and put all new in and we drained it. Yeah. That's the only time I've ever drained it. And then it would have been fun. It's really amazing how deep it really is when you're down into the bottom.
Mm-hmm. And it's really amazing how bad it hurts when you fall from the top to the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do that.
It's surprising every time.
I do that. We travel. I've traveled all over the United States. I've been in every state.
What
different countries.
What's your favorite state other than Texas?
Yeah, you got to stay Texas. There's still a lot of Texas I haven't seen, but I've seen a lot of it.
You will never see all of Texas.
The east side I haven't seen a lot of there.
It's way too big.
West Texas I pretty much got down. I still like Alaska. I lived up there for a couple of years, and I've been back. I took my family back there a few years back. I liked Hawaii. Hawaii is super cool. I could spend more time there.
Are you sure Hawaii's cool? Because I don't know. They got bad reviews on Yelp.
Yeah, no, I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, I really would love to go to Hawaii. For sure.
It's just a different laid back. There's last spring break I found a little island, Cape Cocker down in Belize, that is just the most laid back place I've ever been.
Yeah.
There was 2 trucks and a tractor on the island. Everybody else just rides bicycles and has boats.
Yeah.
So you just walk around the island, and if you want to eat today, you go out and find some fish. Just one of the most relaxing places I've ever been. Now there's other tourist islands, down there that are full of golf carts and tourists, but we found this one that's really cool.
Yeah.
So, I like that place. United States, man, there's lots of neat places in the U.S., wherever you go. So,
have you been out of the country?
Yeah, I mean...
Well, of course, that...
Yeah, I've been, Honduras, Belize, Mexico, Germany a couple times. We've had a couple exchange students from Germany.
Really?
So we've gone over and visited them. My daughter did a 6 or 4 month study abroad in England, so we've been to England a couple times. France.
Do you fly a plane?
No.
Almost everybody that comes on here flies planes.
No, it'd be cool.
They're like, I travel, I do photography, and I fly planes.
No.
Okay.
No.
Cool.
I can't even fly a kite, man. I'd crash it.
Yeah, well, then stay away from planes,
Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah.
Have you ever welded a plane?
No, but I got a good friend of mine that he told me every time he goes on a plane, he takes his his ground clamp and his welding lead with him, because if that plane's going down or has a hole in it, just hold on to that lead. It's going to catch on something.
Wow.
I don't know if you ever hauled one across the shop, but it'll catch up on anything, so you'll be all right. And that's his way of thinking. It probably will work. But
Wow.
no, I've flown all over the place, and
Yeah.
Flown in the military, and helicopters wide open backs, and crossed open.
You were jumping out of the helicopters?
Rappelling out. I never
Okay.
parachuted, but I rappelled out of them. I rappelled out of them into the ocean. We trained with the Navy SEALs, so I've jumped out of helicopters and into the ocean, and it's cold and it's stupid, and I didn't like it, but.
Well, yeah, I don't know that too many people like that.
But I've been in planes and helicopters. Had a cool time in a helicopter. I was up in one with my family, and we went up into Mount McKinley area, and went right up on a glacier, and the helicopter pilot took us right up, pointed the nose against the glacier kind of, and then we got out and crawled around on the glaciers a little bit.
Just gave the glacier a kiss?
Yeah, pretty much. right up close to it, and then backed off, and then he landed, and so.
Not many people can say they did that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I've done a bunch of stuff that stupid, and then there's some fun stuff, and I don't know what'll be next week, but
next week. Yeah. Well, I have my fair share of stupid things, but they tend to be fun.
Yeah,
So I guess there's a crossover on those two categories.
You got to do a lot of things to have good stories.
Yeah.
So I want to have a lot of good stories for my grandkids.
Right.
And to have good
and
stories.
for the listeners of this podcast.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
That has to be in the agenda.
Okay. But yeah, a lot of traveling, a lot of I don't know. Each one of those trips has a story in itself, pretty much, and I get, my wife says I get in trouble a lot. One of the cool times I got in trouble, we were walking through Washington, D.C., and I didn't really know. It was the first time I didn't know where I was. And, so there was this gate open, and I walked in the back, and I said, wow, that's pretty cool. And then all these guys with black jackets came, and apparently it was the backyard of the White House, and you're not supposed to be in there. So, we went around front, and I go, oh, that's why they didn't want me there.
Yeah.
But I tend to do stuff like that. I don't know why.
Wait, how did you get in?
Well, somebody left the, like the trash gate open. They had some dumpsters, and it was just open. So, I poked my head in there and, started walking around, and they didn't like it for some reason. They were there really quick.
It seems like the White House is not as secure as people like to see.
Yeah, probably not. It's okay.
No, get in trouble helped you learn.
Yeah, see.
Now you don't.
Now
you
how
know.
many people can say they've done that? Walked in the back of the. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, me
and
my buddy
got away with it without being thrown in
Dying?
federal prison.
Yeah.
Shot. Yeah, something.
Where's Jim?
Yeah.
I don't know. He went in that backyard. And never came out. Oh, yeah. No, me and my buddy, this was a few Thanksgivings ago, like 4 Thanksgivings ago, had the bright idea to go cut a metal arm off of a rail to skate it, but it was at a bank. And it was right off of 42nd. I won't say any
We won't
names.
say which bank that is.
But yeah, I was just thinking, first of all, they didn't need it. It was just a little arm. And secondly, like, they would have never known. I even brought the paint, the brown paint to
kind of make sure that nobody noticed it.
Right. And I was just going to cut it, skate it, and go. And me and my buddy were there. And I said, keep a watch out, bro. All right, cool. And I just had a hacksaw. That's all I had. I was idiot. I should have just got a Sawzall and called it good. But like, I'm going down by hand on this thing, and a couple minutes go by, and I look up, and there's a cop car. I was like, oh, cool. I look at my friend. He's still looking at my saw. I'm like, hey, there's a cop. We're kind of screwed. And yeah, it was hilarious because they couldn't do anything. Because A, I didn't go all the way, and B, like, they couldn't get a hold of the bank because it was Thanksgiving to press charges. So the lieutenant literally just like put his verbal foot in our ass and was just like,
go home.
If I ever catch y'all in the skating in these streets again, I swear to God, it'll be the last board you ever, just like the worst thing ever. And then was like, all right, guys, go home. I was like, cool. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Yeah, don't do that. Don't. At a bank, that's probably what really did it.
Yeah.
Having it at a bank. Don't do it at a bank. Where we at? 45? Well. Jim.
Yes, sir.
How you feeling, man?
Okay.
You're okay?
Is this good?
Yeah, this is good.
All right.
I think we're going to end it, though. And we're going to give it away to the silence.
This is fun.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming by. And
yeah, thanks for having me.
I would like to have you on again whenever you feel like you can. If you get any more textbooks written in welding. No. Well.
I work on my novel,
Yeah. You have a novel going on?
Yeah, it's been going for a long time, but we'll have to wait and see if it ever happens. I don't want to say the name or anything right now. We'll wait and see.
But you really are? You're not?
Yeah.
Okay.
We just can't put it on,
Well, I'm glad you waited till right now.
But, that might be something down the road.
Yeah. Well, hey.
Maybe it'll be a bestseller, and then you'll say, hey, I knew him then.
I would hope so. You would definitely have to come back on the podcast. This podcast would actually be something.
Okay.
No. Yeah, Jim Mossman, everybody. I
thanks.
appreciate it.